like the Kennen, and he was getting caught out, right? Even in situations where he knew they knew where he was, and he was isolating himself. So he really has to step up this game, or you could see exactly what you want, and we could have a very dead and red Vladimir on our screen a lot, just seeing grey.
Excited to see how it's going to be this game, because Partizan has been, destroying the entire Group D, and Ra, they were so close to grab one single victory at the end of the last day. I remember Maggot playing that Fiora that maybe could have ended the game, not enough in the end, so close yet. So far for the guys from Rad and Partizan, I'm really expecting them to be on the knockout stage in the play-ins. Honestly, they are showing up as one of the stronger rivals so far in this playing, maybe alongside with I would say Papara Supermassive, but surprisingly Group B Star is being our opposite Famagusta. I don't know if you would have seen that coming.
I mean, don't doubt Ylif, don't doubt Ho Never Lucky, don't doubt Spooky, don't doubt the strength of that Greek lineup. I'm actually really excited to see them perform later today. Ho Never Lucky especially, man. I remember when this guy was just an Echo one trick, and he's so much more than that now. I used to read his matchup guides on Echo and all this stuff. He was the guy for the champion. So I'm really happy for him to have gotten this far. But yeah, don't sleep on the lineup. Turkey did sleep on the lineup, and now these guys are almost sure to get out. But, I think Supermassive are going to come back huge and not underestimate them the next time around.
Absolutely, yes, and paying attention to these first levels of the game is good. Pathing towards that top side, while Xin Zhao is going to be pathing towards that bottom side of the map. Maybe not expecting Ani to be that pushed into the bottom lane. In my opinion, Butcher was playing with fire a bit, because you have to respect that Ani point on click CC, but he got the advantage, putting some vision deep in the enemy jungle. So Xin Zhao is going to be definitely spotted, but spotted again. They're trying to grab that scuttle crab, which I don't know if it belonged to him.
I think they're looking more to contest topside, because you have the Vladimir with Ignite Ghost, no teleport, so they know the Vi's intent is to snowball this lane on topside early, so the Xin Zhao knows he needs to be here to potentially counter that. Yeah. Like you said, it is spotted, so Vi's not just going to go river. Vi's going to get into this brush here, but Partizan are here for
looking bad and getting going in the W from the side of Xin Zhao, and Vladimir so chong down. The first one is going to be, if it's not in the top lane. Scooter grabbing down that kill, and maybe it's a super one. And it needs so low on HP. Scooter trying to grab him again, but not enough. 1-1 in the top lane situation. I watched by charging up the Fizz, and it was really dangerous. A bit of action also in the bottom lane of the map. Butcher looking for some action to knock up. He's okay, but the stun didn't come from the side of Ani. He'll to go forward. Rakan about to die. Flash forward, and Yopa grabs this. Another kill for that Sivir. In just the blink of an eye, Partizan got to 1 in the kill counting.
Well, the opening plan did not go successfully. Vi has a kill, and it was a 1-for-1 trade. Kennen at least doesn't have that kill on top side, and the wave was good for Vladimir, and it moved back in. But that on bot lane, that was purely a 2v2. That was a 2v2 that Rad chose to do. One other big thing happened during all of this, though. Hunt got a really good reset off in the mid lane, was able to not have to utilize TP there, able to maintain his combat summoners, and he's come back with decent itemization. He's going to be pretty free to just control the wave on mid now with these double mana items, because the Cassio went top to see if she could dive the Vi.
I have to say that maybe this kind of situation in the bottom lane by Sivir and Ani is not going to be that easy to get away with after Hunt's level 6, because you will need to be aware of that Weaver's Wall and the impact that Talia may have in that bottom lane. Besides that, I was surprised that Xin Zhao gank was working in the top side, because they saw Xin Zhao going deep into that bush. Rad had all the vision in the top side and also in the bottom side. So in my opinion, that kill should have never come onto Partizan's hands.
No, Mage definitely should have played more further up towards the top side of the top lane there, knowing Xin Zhao's coming from the bottom. It felt to me like that was an attempt at a bait that just went too poorly and was very mistimed. Wave is fine for Vladimir to not have to move forward here. He can just trade against the Kennen. If Partizan want to do something, they have to dive.
The smell of a dive early in the day isn't that the best thing in the world, and Vladimir know that this was going to happen. Even Ani wasn't the topside. Disciple made all the way towards that topside. Ani, in fact, had to flash away because his scooter was beat late to the counter gang. It's another kill for Partizan, and it feels like Rad is being a bit slow in following up the Partizan's ideas.
Yeah, the risk there is that Zeri Rakan could just be in one of those extended tri-bushes on bottom, and Joppa played as if he knew for a fact that wasn't the case. And it wasn't the case, right? So they've been completely rewarded for this heavy trade for support topside. They'll trade a little here, but there's no realistic way Butcher can do anything, or that Joppa can execute a kill. What they have done is they've gotten good wave state for themselves on bot lane, but these are only incremental advantages. Whereas what Partizan have done is they've set the full win condition for Rad behind, so we're again in a situation where it feels like Rad, they have a smart idea in draft, but when it comes to execution in game, they're just kind of slowly losing out on all of the parts where they need to be winning.
I have to say that even though all Partizan have been extremely interested in denying that Vladimir in the first minutes of the game, Maggot is pretty chilling, 0-2, yeah, but quite even in terms of CSs with Kennen in the game. I was a bit worried about Sivir in the bottom lane because Joppa was so pushed in the bottom lane, considering that the wave was really shoved into enemy tower in a 2v1 situation, and that could have been a disaster for the Partizan's AD carry, considering that he didn't have neither Ghost, neither the Flash on. 7 minutes into the game, 3-1 for the Partizan. Gold advantage, of course, for them. The first Drake in the game is going to be this Hextech Drake. I have to say, a bit disappointed that we are not going to have this Hextech Drake, considering the amount of good champions that may have taken advantage of that buff.
Oh, of the soul itself. Because that would be really interesting in this game. There's a lot of CDR dependent champions, a lot of manaless champions. Hunt doesn't have the mana to follow up on Ral here. That would require Viles and Zao to come in to see more extended play there. Rad continuing to just push in bot. It's going to be a long time before Annie is 6, but she can still do a decent engage at some point. Just no jungler is looking to do something hard around bot lane. It's all about this top play. Magic's still doing well in the trades against Kennen. The champion matchup is still really good for him. He has a lot of sustain in his kit there. It's basically trading Qs for Qs, but his are much better. Scood thinks that because the wave state top has been fixed solo by Magic, he could maybe do a trade for this Drake here, but again, you'd prefer them to be doing something hard around this level 6 Vladimir top, rather than the incremental advantages that they've been taking. But every time they've tried, Partizan have been there first, they've met them every time, and Partizan have won out in those trades.
Definitely. Now Partizan are trying to punish with this per health of the game, even though Hunt have the priority in the middle lane, and he's chasing down Maggot to be chunked down, so maybe the Herald is not a realistic situation. Slime going in, ultimate out to the going with the fist and the slicing Maelstrom, maybe not the most exciting in the world, but even though playing games from the side of Cassiopeia is going to ease down, and Vladimir, what can you do? Hunt to chunk down Lando, and they're about to explode. The HP are so low, but they are not dead anymore. Another kill for Ra'ad. Double kill for Talia, and maybe this is a winning situation for the Arabian League guys. 4 and 5 in the kill counting. What can do Partizan besides taking these platings to the bottom side of the map? This is the first play that Rad take on with.
Yeah, and those plates that are being traded on bot lane are being traded for plates on mid lane, and getting that mid lane tower down does change the map more dramatically, and those plates are going on San 1. So San 1 isn't falling that much behind the Sivir for doing the join here, but Hunt getting those double kills, that has to be a morale boost. However, gonna have to throw the negative there over towards Rad. Majid came in and he didn't W the Cassio ultimate, the one thing that you have to be worried about moving in on the fight there, and so he wasn't able to get his full damage out, he wasn't able to pick up those kills. If those 2 kills were on the Vladimir right now, I think you'd be sweating as Partizan, but because they're on the Talia, someone whose job here is to counter Sivir with utility that he would have irrespective of those kills, or play for the Vladimir with utility that he'd expect to have irrespective of those kills, you're not as worried as you otherwise might be. But still, Rad must be happy to have something. Hopefully they can translate this into something on the Vlad.
They want to punish on the Talia. Flash forward and stun. This is magic. Funny, the trap is interesting, but not enough. As Frog takes the kill and shot down from the Talia. I mean, this is just Sunny. There's just no contemplate to that.
I mean, they took that personally, I guess, Talia getting those 2 kills, and they show her it's not worth it, mate. We can still engage on you at any point. You don't have the burst to deal with that. You don't have the utility to deal with that. What you can do is just block a standard Sivir front to back for later.
Looking for a gang flash and ultimate to punish that cannon as a referral is being someone on the other side of the map. Maga taking the kill, and that's massive. You're demanding those resources onto the Vladimir, funneling those resources, that gold into the Vladimir, and we are just having that. Yeah, maybe Raad is losing some platings in the mid lane, but that kill may be a problem in some minutes for the Partizan.
For sure, they're fixing the wave top as well. Everything's looking good for the Vlad now. That's what Rad wanted. The plates on mid lane were more than evened up from that play because of the Herald being dropped there. But I think ultimately that's exactly what you finally want as the Rad team, because without that, we're just looking at a straight Partizan win. It's not like Partizan scale poorly. I still need to see Majid play around the Casio better than he did in the first fight, because it could all be for naught otherwise. But still, a bit ray of hope there.
Okay, this is a classic Siri moment. Flash in the knockout, and Sivir is absolutely done. I have to say that Rad is 0-3, but this was the closest game the Rad guys played yesterday. At the end of the day, they were so close to take down Partizan, and maybe Partizan took personally the 2 kills on Talia, but Rad took personally the defeat versus Partizan, and they just done their homework for today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the execution is on today in a way that it wasn't yesterday.
Absolutely.
But they're still leaving a lot of holes. Sam1 Butcher, they're able to find something. Skewed Majid, they're able to find something. Hunt was able to find something with that really well-played contest that he did. But we still need to see the whole 5-man game plan play out from Rad before we write off Partizan, because Partizan, they're well in this game. They're still in a position to make plays on almost every lane. And look, they're not letting Scoot get this jungle for free. They're really hungry for the contester.
Yeah, definitely. They want to go on the buy. They want to invade. They want to deny those camps. Definitely, and I have to say that I'm receiving these sparks of a good plan from the side of Rad. The way they set up the vision in the first levels to get track onto the Chainsaw, even though they didn't end up punishing him that much as I thought they should be doing. Partizan want to go in here, but I don't think that's a realistic situation considering how behind right now is the Sivir, and maybe she's not in the best moment anymore. But pressuring the buy out of the situation of a possible gang, maybe in another side of the map, is also important for Partizan. Beware, not a fight.
No. But it's that Sivir and it's that Annie combo that you want to get off as Partizan. The R from the Sivir boosting everybody onto Annie engage is going to be such a huge, effective, and crucially easy to execute draft to full out. The Talia, her wall, her W, these things are what counters it, but they require a lot harder levels of execution than what is demanded from in Partizan in these 5v5 fights. Which is why the Vladimir having a lot of damage is what you need from this composition. The Vladimir makes the whole thing work because he makes it easy. He makes it on easy mode, but if he's behind, so many things have to go right for Rad to win a straight 5v5. Whereas for Partizan, I mean, it's all point and click. It's a Sivir composition. There's a reason that these things always end up coming out at the World Championships. And it is because, honestly, simplicity wins later on, because decisiveness is always what's going to win at the highest levels, and it's easier to be decisive with a composition that kind of vomits all of its damage and utility out like Partizan, rather than one with Rad.
I mean, I have to say that I agree with you, and this is something I've always defended when casting the Spanish stream, that I really love when coming to this kind of tournaments, the simplicity of the composition, that you don't have to, trying to manage waves in a super complex way to get on with the situation. Emma Pla going forward, Maggot maybe a bit rushed, with the pool, with the swimming pool, and in the Vladimir. That could be a kill situation in the top side from the side of Raad, but it's going to be a Herald situation from the side of Raad. Second Herald in the game, it's going to be for Raad, and maybe it will help the Arabian League team to push forward in the mid lane. When they are showing me the fog, then it's a problem. Lundov takes the kill on Vladimir, and this was just because of how greedy Vladimir was trying to 1v1 the cannon.
Oh, well, I think 1v1ing the cannon was a good idea, because the all-in there, even if you don't kill him, you secure top priority, which secures the Herald for your team in River there. I do think the way he played that wave was extremely greedy. If you're going to play the wave up like that, assuming the cannon's based, assuming they're not waiting in the tower for you, you need Scoot there.
Where is the cannon?
Scoot's there now.
Where is the cannon? Is it here or is it there? Where is the cannon? It's dancing and dangerous dance with Scooty. And the worst of that is good that loads of friends are there. Vi was just dancing the tango, the death tango with the cannon. That ended up being the worst for Rod, even though I thought it was, a free kill for a Scooty. That was terrible. And they're trying now to collapse on Ryle. The Puka CP is just there all alone. Maybe a petrifying is an exciting one. The flash in there, but San just cleanses away the stone from his body. Not a kill on Casio, but they forced out the flash on Partizan's mid laner.
Two people topside. Majid and then Scoob made the same basic assumption. We can play a little bit greedier and a little bit easier for our wave, for our kill, for our whatever, because we don't assume that Clocks and Snill are just sitting there waiting for us. And both times, they are sitting there waiting for us. Clocks is not his Sivir support this game. He's the support that's where he needs to be on the map. The whole game's to be played on top. And he has been there to counter almost every single play, individualistic or otherwise. Majid couldn't even play for his wave without Clocks being there. Really impressive game from him so far. Yes, it's resulted in some unsafe situations for Sivir bot lane, but that Sivir's going to be useful no matter what for your win conditions later on. You have to make sure that Vladimir isn't in the game. And they've been punishing Majid for every small mistake, every small assumption that he's made. You have to deal with the facts in this game, Majid. And the fact is, you're really stuck in a terrible situation with 3-4 people leaning up there permanently. It's going to have to be a really safe game for the Vlad. He's actually 500 gold behind the Kennen right now. That's actually not that bad. That's actually not that bad. He will eventually scale and do well, but so too will the Sivir. Like, Sivir's not doing so bad.
This is going to be the first tower in the mid lane for the Ra team, and this is very, very important because having Sivir in your team would have allowed Partizan to clean waves onto Exhaustion in there. The jump is being really, really good. I thought someone was gonna jump in, watching him, parkouring the wall from the side of Partizan's jungle. In fact, now they are responding the earlier invade from Partizan with more aggressive invade in the red jungle side of the map. 6 and 8, and both teams are pretty much alive. In the long run, Veteran, I have to wonder because I hate Vladimir like a lot with my whole heart. I have to say he belongs to a kind of champion, which in Spanish I would call them like tanky mages who heal a lot. And I would say that they're in that category. I place Vladimir, Swain, and maybe Silas, maybe. And for me, they are just disgusting. They are like AP machines of damage, and they just don't die. Never. And 1v9 potential.
I have a theory, Clough, for you that I've been testing out on my new solo queue account lately. I've been doing tank fiddlesticks in the top lane.
No! I don't know. I do not allow this to happen, never.
Perfectly, actually.
That's the same. It's the same concept. Now, Veteran is a terrible person, and we just got confirmation about that. As we're watching Partizan grabbing the second Drake in the game, for them is going to be the Chemtech Drake, as Magat is taking the first tower in the top lane, but Rad are aligned to grab the first victory, maybe in the group. So far, considering how good they are setting up their weak conditions in the early stages of the game. But what I wanted to discuss with you is that in the long run, who is going to win? Because Vladimir is a scaling machine, but you have Sivir and Cassiopeia in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If we look at the way that Majid has played the game so far, I would assume that the Cassio, the Annie, that they are going to find the opportunities to catch Majid on those flanks. Just they haven't been played efficiently. He has been greedy on a lot of waves, and he has been punished for it. That's the big issue there, right? And Partizan, again, it always keeps coming back to this. They have an easier time doing their comp. We can talk about the technicalities where Rad have actually countered the Sivir comp. They have the better scaling composition. They have the better matchups. They have all this stuff. But at the end of the day, when it comes to execution, that's where Rad have lacked. And that's where Partizan don't really have to think about things too hard, right? And it's always comes back that to me if you want me to make a prediction. But I do think that Rad's composition, if we assume good execution on both sides, is doing really well right now. The Kennen is fully aware of this. Yes, Majid is one of four, but
fast. Vladimir is like so fast, and maybe he's gonna die like so fast, going golden. Kennen, maybe the 1v1 was not the best situation for you because Lundov is taking down the Vladimir. Oh my gosh, you were respecting veteran the fact that Maggot tried to 1v1 Kennen all the time in the top lane, but right now it just, it just ended up so bad.
No, Kennen was able to get the stun off. Kennen was able to get the R off. He was able to get the few things that you want to avoid as the Vladimir there. Not really good use of the W there from the Vlad, unfortunately, and because of that, he just gets punished again. That's the issue. Yes, the composition can technically do well. Kennen, you could see, understood that he loses that 1v1 until he got the stun off. But through all of that, you can see the execution issues we're gonna have later on. And that's the word of the game here. Execution, execution, execution.
Oh, execution. You told me about this execution because it looked pretty easy. Scud goes in half with the ultimate and Sivir just can't do anything. Like, you hate being an ADC in this kind of situations because there's just no contemplate if you are alone. And you were talking about how dangerous it may be for Sivir not being backed by the Annie.
Yeah, I mean, she can spell shield one ability, so if you spell shield the Q, the ultimate will get you. If you spell shield the ultimate, the Q's gotten you already in the knock-up, and if you get the knock-up off at all, then Sivir doesn't have the ability to spell shield anything. And there was so much lead CC coming out on that play. Yeah, I mean, that was an easy play for them to make, but the composition as a whole, when it gets to 5-on-5, that's the difficulty. And what I like to say is, you can avoid 5-on-5, right? Sure, you can technically avoid the 5-on-5, try to play a split map, that's where your composition rests best. But if you do that, and any individual one of those lanes collapse to a Sivir Annie composition, the whole 5-man map setup, that also collapses too. So even though Partizan, they're kind of playing back to their towers, they're kind of losing ground, they're kind of being pushed back, I'd still feel confident about them being able to turn it around at this stage of the game. But if Rad are able to win another skirmish before that, there's, okay, maybe Rad can pull this off. I'm still looking at you, Magid. I'm still looking at you. That 1v1 on the Kennen didn't exactly fill me of hope, right? Maybe you need some more items so we can do it. Oh.
Maybe. Okay, Botcher trying to grab onto the Rakan, and here comes Sivir.
Not today.
It's amazing. Not going in. Botcher saves his own life, and surprisingly, no one died in this situation, even though Rakan was so close to die. Oh my god. I have the feeling that if Partizan executed that a bit better, that could be maybe a natural situation for them.
Potentially, but it definitely wasn't.
Ooh. Okay, why do you want to go in? CP's coming down through the side of Partizan, and the shutdown goes on the Ani. It's not about to die, and here comes the slicing, Muslim slicing and dicing. The predifying case maybe not the most exciting in the world, and now 3 members up from the side of Ra still alive, trying to hold on to the lives. Vladimir is gonna be down as well. Double kill for Cassiopeia. Hunt is trying to save the tower, to crush the wave and save whatever rests from their side of the map. That fight was really close, and I don't think that you really want to try this Baron Nashor. Look at your HP bar. Please.
And I really enjoy what Ryla did in that fight, and I wish we could replay that because he saved the entire situation. Kennen burned all of his CC, all the
himself?
Nah, they're surely not dead. They burned all of their crowd control there before the Vladimir was able to get in and use his full burst, but then the Cassio is able to stun the full HP Vladimir in his tracks as he was about to go back into the fight and end it. and saved the entire fight there. Like, that was all on this Cassiopeia and on Magid's misplay there to allow him to be stunned by the Cassio again. It's the thing we were calling since we saw him get stunned on that initial Herald contest, and it happened again in this fight. If that didn't happen, Rad would have won that fight, and it wouldn't even been close. But Ryleth, he came in with that teleport later, but he came in on time nonetheless.
Kruger trying to grab that Drake, considering that he had no pressure in the middle. And okay, Papai has to go in, but almost you have members of your team that are almost dead. Shut down and again. And how far is it going? How fights are going this way? The Purifying Gaze now wasted, and Jopa takes down his scooter. Rod has to run for their lives. No! Zeri is gonna be taken down, but Partizan are just fighting better. Again, it's Leah, the last man standing for the Rad team. That is going to be an ace for Partizan. That is going to be Partizan again, sweeping out the other teams and about to grab the 4th victory in this D group, which would guarantee them probably to pass to the knockout stage.
I'm really glad that I'm not pressured to choose an MVP, because Clocks was so dominant in the early game that I thought he easily had it if they win, but every team fight, Ryla destroys this Vladimir before he's able to do anything. He got him down to like 200 HP and forced him to play around the outside of the fight for the rest of the match. And it's every team fight, it's just a Cassio show. It's just him. He's putting the control in Control Mage. He's countering everything Rad want to do. Well played to him, for sure. The MVP from team fights onwards for the whole late game has definitely been Ryla in this mid lane. Clocks in the bot lane there, the MVP of every stage before that. But it's a team effort overall in a team that Don Jake, he said that this was like a 5-man lineup, like 5 friends and the power of friendship and all that. But you can definitely see how each individual one of them have some power and something to bring to the table.
The power of friendship is
dead.
pretty painful, I have to say. Margaret is going to be down once again, and Ani is grabbing this kill. Looks like Rad is out of options. I was saying that the 4th victory would mean going to knockout stage for Partizan, but the 4th defeat for Rad is most likely to be out of EMEA Masters.
Wow, that's dark. Did you notice that when Vladimir dies, it just leaves a massive blood stain on the list?
No, Scooter is just crazy. Scooter is just crazy. This could not ever work. Yopa takes down Vi. They're fighting for the last time. Fanny is going to be down as well as Nile. Takes the kill onto the Zeri, trying to make some time going golden and that, but Yopa with 1 HP just sweeps out the team fight. Top inhibitor is going to be taken down by Partizan as Trial. Cassiopeia is sieging through the mid lane. Looks like veteran Rad is just a bit desperate, and Vi just want to look forward for engages no matter what.
Hey, when you're behind, if you're not flipping it, you're not really trying to win. You either go for the 50-50 and pray it works, and that almost did work. Hunt got them very, very low. They were on 100, 200 HP each towards the end of that fight. So it could have worked, but yeah, when you're behind, the teams that go for the 50-50s are the ones that are more likely to come back up. Because, you know, if it fails, we were already losing before anyway. If it works, though, that might be a way back into the game. So respect for seeing a potential opportunity and going in. And that did actually go a lot closer than I thought it would based on the start of it. I think Hunt's had a stellar performance for the entirety of the game. That for sure. But unfortunately, he isn't on the big hyper carry. Majid is, and that one hasn't gone so well. I do want to shout out San1 and Butch on the bot lane. They didn't have a strong early showing yesterday in the game that I casted them there, but this game they did find good opportunities. But that's it, because the rest of this is the Partizan show, the 5-man mythical beasts that are destroying and slaying the Rad Dragon here. And it looks like it's just a question of when they're going to end rather than if.
Oh my god, Sari, you're playing with fire once again. That's not your side of the jungle, even though you think about it like that. How Vi get there? That's my question right now, because I'm just watching this kid backing almost on the red side of the jungle, and I really don't know how Vi gets there, because Vi is losing the second tower in the bottom lane. 10 and 21 in the kill counting, just almost 9k gold ahead from the side of Partizan, just touching with the fingertips the knockout stage. Going for what? has used our cannon himself to do that, and Ra'at just loses bot inhibitor after this push. The game is almost done. I have to say that I said it before that I got to see this spark of a game plan from the side of Rad. This is a region that stepped into the EMEA Master for the first time in this 2023, and we have to see how it goes for them in the next one. I mean, GK is doing great, I have to say.
Not entirely sure how serious your question was in terms of what Scood was doing there or how he got there, but I assume the play there was, given that Sam1 had spotted free in jungle on bot side, they were going to have Hunt heavily push out the mid lane there, and if the other two come out to make a play on Hunt, Scood was in a position to flank. So they were using Hunt as like a mini bait, given that they didn't know where two members of Partizan were, and by being in that position, Scood had bypassed a lot of their vision and would give them the illusion of safety if they leaned to the bottom side, so you'd be able to engage if they were to engage on Hunt. They're looking for these baits. Those baits the small players are all they can do. Butcher gonna Superman it again, maybe?
But you're baiting, but you're not hunted. You are the prey. Look at that cannon's damage. Oh, the W from Shintal, maybe not the best, but enough to launch himself. Full W from Vladimir, not going to be enough to save his own life. Butcher is gonna be alive, but at his top laner's life cost. Now Rakan has to be away of the Xin Zhao. It's gonna be the third inhibitor from the side of Partizan, which means more pressure on Rod's shoulders, which means more dominance in the map, which means, end the game or just literally grabbing neutral objectives until the pressure is just too much for Rod to manage.
I mean, Rad's win condition just got removed.
Okay, Fever! It's okay, Fever. Just no contemplate to that. For trying gaze going on. And the slicing Malcham, slicing and all that. It's gonna be an ace. The tower still defending the Ra'at base. And Zeri trying to pop off in a Zeri moment. Not gonna be enough. Not enough damage from the side of Sun1. That's gonna be the fourth victory in a row for Partizan. That's gonna be Partizan almost getting into the knockout stage. Ra'at tried, but it was not enough. They need a miracle to go forward.